Hello, beautiful people. This is day 27 of the 30 Days of Healing series. It's hard for me to believe that we're only a few days away from the end of this series. I think when the angels first started telling me about it back in the beginning of June, it felt like this huge undertaking to be sharing with you constantly. And to be able to have a new message every day. I think there's still that little part of all of us that, although we want to have faith and trust in our angels and guides that they're going to do what we feel guided to do with us, that sometimes we think that it's not going to come to fruition because we still have our human ego-driven mind to worry about things and have fears. So I wasn't sure that I would have information to share every day for 30 days. And I don't know about you, but I have been overwhelmed with what an amazing path we've taken together and the learning and acknowledgements and the moving forward that we've all been through. And I thank you so much for participating in these videos when you're on live and you've commented or asked questions, and also those that have shared afterwards what the videos meant to them, because without your reinforcement, it's just me talking into the wind, right? So to be sharing together is an awesome thing. So today they've got a few things to share with us. And the first thing that I really wanted to share is a grid that came through for a healing that I did this morning. It was one of my Heal Me Quick healings that I do, which basically is when you want a healing, you trust that I know what I'm doing. You don't want a full write-up because you just want it done. And they can be quite powerful. Sometimes I'm not even called to do an energy grid to go with them. And the one today you might recognize is the grid that they shared with us earlier in the week has been kind of reconfigured, and they've added one gemstone to the grid. Hi, Cara. Nice to see you on, hun. So they've asked me to share that grid with you now so you can see the energy that they've brought into this room. So this is the slight reconfiguration of the grid that we've been working with since we started this series. So hopefully we can position that. So if you have a look down the bottom, this is the new stone that they've added, but they've also changed the layout of the grid that we were dealing with earlier in the week. Now this one, it's interesting, Cara's online because I know it drew her eye last time we dealt with it. It's a Septarian crystal, which is actually mined on Denman Island, which is very close to where I live here on Vancouver Island. And it is about grounding to the earth, to Mother Nature. And now I'm a bit lopsided. Let me just fix that. There we go. So Septarian is very grounding and grounds us to our Earth Star chakra and to Mother Earth. And it's very cool that it got added to this grid for us to deal with. So the energy of that grid is still very healing, very uplifting, very much about community and bringing us together and allowing ourselves to heal, giving ourselves permission to heal from our past to move on to our future. And it's a very gentle but yet very powerful grid. And I'm getting annoyed with the reflection on my glasses again, so we're going to go solo and hope that that doesn't look too strange. Looks weird to me because I'm used to glasses. So to share with you today, and I love that the Septarian came through today, and I'm going to hold that one up in particular because it's got some beautiful detail to it. And they're all like this, like the streaks of what looks almost like citrine in between the more earthly colored crystal. So I love that that came through today because this afternoon, my boys and I ended up going for a walk for several kilometers through a local forest. And the energy there was amazing. Like, talk about grounding in nature. It was like the most beautiful medicine in a way that we could give ourselves. And if you see the picture behind me with the green and the moss and the river running through it, although that particular picture is taken in Australia, it was reminiscent of that where we were. A lot of green, lush overgrowth, a lot of little streams trickling here and there, and then the rocks covered with moss or having the water rushing over them. And it's all those components working together that help us to ground and help us to cleanse our energy of what we've been working through lately. Because the water is very cleansing. And even if we're not in it and we're just watching it wash over the rocks, that in itself is a form of cleansing for us. That's what they're saying. So it's the action of watching the water rush by. Now near us, it's almost not like, it wouldn't be a high grade of rapids, but it is a rapids that's there with a lot of rocks with water rushing over it. There were people tubing down them. It's apparently the done thing to do if you're a local. So we don't have tubes. We'll get on it. So thank you, Suzanne, for sharing the video. That's awesome. Haven't even finished yet and it's shared. Love it. Good to have you here, Suzanne. So the neat thing about watching the water going over the rocks is this idea of cleansing. So if you can stand there at a water's edge, or even in your mind, if you're nowhere near running water, to in your mind visualize a stream of running water in front of you with the water rushing and cascading down over the rocks. And then imagine taking everything that's bothering you, everything that you've been working on, any beliefs or thought processes that you know no longer serve you, that you're ready to release. If you've been dealing with certain emotions or certain people, relationships, or difficulties in your life, you can visualize the energy of all of those and take it from your body and throw it to the river or the ocean or whatever body of water is in front of you. And then visualize that being carried away. It's washed away. Like if you think about it, if you took, what are you showing me? They're showing me like because I was talking about the inner tubes that they go down on. It looks like a little mini inner tube, like a donut almost. Basically, if you place something, and they're using the color red, which is really cool because red is the color of our base or root chakra that we deal with. And we talked about that yesterday, cleansing that area. And our base chakra is where we hold our beliefs that are formed in the first 7 years of our lives. So from birth to 7 years, all of our notions and conceptions of the world and how it works is formed in those first 7 years. And let's face it, you could have the most perfect parents on earth, you would still have some faulty programming in those first 7 years, because we all have something that we've come here to learn about on earth, right? So whether it was awesome or whether it had its issues, those first 7 years formed what you think about the world for the rest of your life, until you're ready to form your own notions and release those beliefs. The one they're reminding me of, because a lot of us would have heard it, is if your parents say to you often, money doesn't grow on trees. And I know that's one that I heard as well. But that's a belief system. That's a statement that's been said to you enough that it's ingrained and it's there in your base chakra until you heal it, cleanse it, or prove yourself otherwise to the point where you know that not to be true, right? So we can replace that thought with money comes freely and easily. As many times as you want, you can say money comes freely and easily. But if deep down you're still dealing with that root chakra energy of money doesn't grow on trees, it's not going to shift overnight, right? I hope that makes sense to you. So they're using this color red, representing the base chakra and ideas and beliefs that we are holding in our base chakra. And if you imagine that little piece of red cloth or whatever it is placed on a rock where there's rapids going down, or even gentle streams like in that picture there. My finger looks huge when I get close. Sorry about that. And you put it there. Well, next time you look, it's not going to be sitting there anymore, is it? You're going to watch it get dragged down and it might get stuck against another rock. And then eventually there's going to be enough of a stream coming down that it'll go over or around and you'll watch it just go away. That same red piece of whatever is never going to sit on that rock again as it did in that moment when you first put it there. Okay? And that's what they want you to think about. Beliefs, concepts, ideas that you're ready to release. Okay? And it's feeling a little bit emotional. It's feeling kind of huge. So this is a big deal. I always get emotional when I release big stuff. So if you're feeling emotional too, like go for it and cry. It's all good for getting stuff out. As we spoke about way back in the first 10 days, we talked about crying, releasing toxins and energy and stuff. So by placing something, anything, into the water. Now, if you don't have a babbling stream nearby and you want to visualize an ocean instead, same concept applies, right? If you take something light and small and you chuck it in the ocean, eventually it's going to drift away, never to be seen again. Or if you do see it again, it's not going to look the same, is it? It's going to be buffeted against the rocks or the waves or the sand, or be a different color, or be supremely waterlogged. It's not the same thing. The object would have been altered in some way. So that's what they want us to think about, is even if there's no water nearby for you to walk to in your mind's eye, imagine water in front of you and doing that. And I believe if you go look at my YouTube channel, because they're reminding me, so it must be there, Rebecca Louise French on YouTube, there is a very quick and easy releasing your cares to the ocean meditation. It's like a minute, if that, where I talk you through throwing your emotions out to the ocean to get rid of them. So, and if it's not there, someone can let me know and I'll guide you to the right place next video. So use the water to cleanse. The other thing is, which I was so happy to see that Kara was the first one to join me on the call this morning, is that when I shared a couple pictures of my hike with my boys on my private Facebook page, because it was just such a beautiful experience and wonderful day, Kara mentioned that she could see the magnificent energy of some of the trees and to give them a hug for her, which I promise I will do next time we go for a walk. But I thought that was really neat because I think walking through, I was kind of doing a bigger picture thing in my head. Like I was going, wow, the overall energy of this place is phenomenal. And aren't we blessed to have listened to our intuition and be guided to live in such an amazingly beautiful part of this world? And what a joy to be able to share that with my children without strollers, like to just go for a walk, no diapers, no strollers, no bottles. It was just, it felt freeing, let me tell you. Don't ask me why that particular thought, but that thought came to mind as the unencumbrance of it all, just being able to go for a walk, and they could run ahead a little bit and it didn't matter. And they were pointing out things that they were enjoying. And of course, my youngest wants to take every little path he finds, even the ones that are slightly covered over and don't look like, you know, people have been there lately and I'm not sure we could find our way back out and I don't want to get lost in the forest. And my elder, more practical one wanted to follow the path in the straight and narrow to where we knew we wanted to go. And I was kind of fence sitting, right? The little kid in me would have loved to go down those unknown pathways. But the adult in me was like, I don't want to get lost. And I think, yeah, I see where you're going with this. It's neat to apply that to our life journey, right? So there's the obvious path in front of us, which is not a wrong path. It's a great path. We can take the path right in front of us. Because if we're still moving forward and learning and growing, we are doing the right thing, right? We're not wasting our time here on earth. This lifetime is worthwhile just by moving forward. And when we feel like doing nothing and having a nap, we could still be moving forward because we're integrating and resting to prepare for the next big physical step, right? So the little paths off to the side, sometimes those diversions just need us to overcome our fear and we can go and jump for it and go, and it's amazing and it's a cool learning experience. And sometimes those little paths to the sides are a distraction and they stop us from reaching our goal. So how do we know what the little path is? Is the unused path the path less traveled, which could be amazing? Or is it just us thinking that we want to be different by doing something different, going against the grain or being daring? What is the answer, guides? Really? That's a cop-out. Okay, they say there is no wrong answer. Because no matter where we go or what we do, we're going to learn something, right? The road less traveled might get you to a new and exciting path quicker and easier. It might be a shortcut. It might be a diversion in that we're kind of trying to get away from what we know our goal is and we're just skirting around the issue. and going for a longer walk. We'll learn stuff going that way, but we're still going to end up on the main path eventually, just with a diversion. But there is no right or wrong answer. For some of us, we need to take the little path, and it could be really fun and exciting. For others, the main path might be the way to go. It's kind of neat, but also kind of confusing. So they love talking in terms of paths. That's why the cover of my book is a pathway with stairs, because it's about ascension, but also taking a path and forging a new direction. And if you look towards the top of my book, at the top, it's kind of unknown. You can't see where the path goes. And that's what life is like. We're walking down a path. We can see the steps and take them at first, but we don't know what's up ahead, because the choices we make, the direction we choose to take when there's a fork in the road, determines where that path takes us. So you're welcome, Cara. And yes, she says, yes, so true. It's all for growth. Okay, good. I'm glad it made sense. I thought they were talking in circles a little bit there. So it's all for growth. Our life is for growth. There is no wrong path. It is all for learning and growth. And give yourself a break. They keep emphasizing that in this course, that we need to release the guilt over doing what we think is wrong or right, and judgment. Judgment and right and wrong, the black and whiteness of it all, is a very human condition. The spirit world doesn't see it that way. The spirit world is able to look down and go, hey, by doing that, I learned this. I won't do that again. Or by doing that, I learned this, and that was pretty cool. And I learned something about myself in that. Whether it was a good experience or not, look what I learned about myself. And that's why they have me talking about my book, because that's pretty much Good Little Church Girl Ascends is all about looking back at the choices that I made and the people that I met and the things that I encountered in life, and see how they shaped my life to bring me to where I am today, which is exactly where I'm meant to be. And I'm happy for where I am today. And some of those experiences in my book are not pleasant. My past has had some pretty big downs as well as some nice ups. But it brings us to where we are today. And I know we all experience that. There's people watching this going, well, this experience I could have dealt without. I kind of wish I hadn't gone through that. But if you can look at what some people might call the negative or unpleasant experiences of your past, and to see how it grew you into the person you are today, and what you learned from that experience, it's helped you to experience what you don't want, if anything else, so that you know what you do want to experience. And I want to experience joy and laughter and happiness and love. And I choose to bring those into my life. And I know that you can do the same. And together we rise, and we are one. And so when one of us in the collective decides to release human judgment and fear and worry, and to embrace love and joy and peace, we raise the vibration for the whole collective. And we also set an example that others might be brave enough to take that next step and to rise above and to find their pure heart. Pure heart. Oh, I like that. They just said that at the last minute. I didn't know that was coming. Find your pure heart. Love it. So thank you for being here on the call and bringing your energy to this group. And thank you for your beautiful, beautiful, wonderful comments and shares. It really does mean the world to me to know that the messages they give me don't just help me, that they also help you. Because that's what I live for. I live for helping others. So if I can help you in any way, please do reach out and let me know. I'm here for you. You can also check out all the free resources on my website, RebeccaLFrench.com, or on YouTube and Instagram, it's Rebecca Louise French, as well as here on Facebook. So thank you, and lots of love to you all, and angel blessings. Bye.